I'm Richard Gerver. I've been honoured to be a keynote speaker at EDULEARN19. Really, for me, the main purpose of education is to prepare young people to thrive in their future. It's to ensure that they possess the aspirations, the skills, the sense of value, the knowledge and the understanding to make the very most of their lives. I think the most important priority around the future of education and the main purpose behind my new book, Education: A Manifesto for Change, is to say that just focusing on making the existing system work more efficiently is not an answer. We actually have to look at how we evolve education, how we ensure that it meets the needs and challenges of the 21st and 22nd century. And the way we do that is through a broader sense of collaboration and partnership. And it means we have to be prepared to step outside of our comfort zones, our frames of reference, and our current levels of understanding. The most important thing for me about the future framework of education is to remember that education is not something that ends at the age of 16, 18 or 21. That education needs to be a lifelong commitment. And in order to do that, we need to ensure that young people have the ability to continuously learn through their lives, to be able to adapt, to be able to change. They need to be creative, innovative, they need to be collaborative, and they need to be entrepreneurial. Really, the thing for me is great educators have the same role now as they had in the 20th century, and they'll have going forward into the latter half of the 21st century and into the 22nd century. The job of an educator is to take complex concepts and translate them into things that are tangible and experiential for students to pick up and develop. We need to think very hard about how we train educators. The job of an educator is not simply to deliver a syllabus or a curriculum. The job of an educator is to, as well as academically developing a young person's mind, we have to ensure that we also help young people develop those lifelong skills that will make a real difference to their futures. For me, the main role around technology is not that we have to teach students how to use technology. They know how to use technology better than we do. They're far more instinctive. And as Mark Krensky once described them, they're digital natives. What we have to do is help them understand how to use that technology in ways that expand their minds. We need to make sure that they have the ability to question and challenge. You know, in a world where fake news is so deeply prevalent in today's society, we need to make sure that young people understand where information comes from, how to challenge it, and how to use it responsibly. For assessment, it's really interesting. What we shouldn't do is make the new evolved model of education fit the current system of assessment. What we have to do is evolve a new system and then find ways to hold that new system to account. So we shouldn't start with assessment. We should start with process and the development of education in the future, and then find ways to assess it and hold it to account. I think for me, sadly, what I've seen in most developed countries since I left my role as a school principal a decade ago is a return to a system fixated with exams and qualifications. And what I pray for is governments that have the courage to move away from systems that are focused purely on exams and qualifications, to ensure that we can once again create an expansive education system that's fit for purpose and is going to maximize the opportunity for our young people to truly thrive in what is an increasingly uncertain future. future of education isn't either this or this. There is always a place for testing in our education system because it is a very important tool of assessment. The thing is, it shouldn't be the tool for assessment, and it shouldn't be the reason for education. When I was a 10-year-old child, my parents separated and got divorced. It was a very traumatic time for me as a child. And I had a teacher when I was 10 years old whose name was David, and he taught me English and drama. And because of the trauma at home, I started to develop a stutter, a speech impediment, because of my nerves and my anxiety. And he took the time not just to teach me about English, but to get to know me and to help me develop emotionally so I could move beyond that anxiety and become not just a more powerful learner, but readjusted as a good functioning human being. That experience taught me more than anything that the great privilege of being an educator, of being a teacher, is not just to prepare children academically or to put them through tests or to deliver a curriculum, but it's to remember that the most essential part of teaching is the honor and privilege of developing the whole human being. EDULEARN 2019 has been an absolute joy. It's an inspirational place to be. As you can see around us, there's a buzz, a desire to learn, to improve and to develop, to share and to collaborate. There are so many people here sharing their research and their experiences. This is a wonderful hub and opportunity for people passionate about education to come together and make a real difference.